A hustler to me is someone, male, female, kid, grown up, doesn't matter who you are, that basically outlines a passion or a goal and then does whatever it takes to get it and achieve it. And that means like sacrificing either your time, finances, or energy, um, and just really keeping your focus to your goal or whatever it is you want to achieve. And making sure that happens. So to me, a hustler doesn't necessarily mean like you're an entrepreneur. There's all types of hustlers. Like you can be a hustler in a company, you can be a hustler in church, or you could be your own personal hustler that you have a personal goal or something you're trying to reach for yourself, whether it's physical or mental. That you're doing whatever it takes to achieve it. To me, that's the true definition of a hustler. You do whatever it takes to achieve whatever you have set in front of you. Period. So at Essential Eats is all about the experience. So our full name is Essential Eats Experience. And to me, how I keep my business different, well, I like to think different from other companies, is that I cook from the soul. So I don't like to label myself as a soul food chef because I could cook so much more and I have experienced so much more different cuisines than that. But I would like my customers and clients, after having an experience with me and eating my meal, to say like, hey, that really, I could feel like she put love into that. It's Essence, so that's kind of where the essential part comes in. But I actually started cooking when I was young, like around like 3 or 4. I can remember like my mom telling me I was like pushing up the chairs to the counters, how they were cooking. My mom and my grandmother. But for me, I didn't pursue that in college. I went to school, did engineering because I was really good at math and science, so I pursued that route. But even throughout college, I was cooking on campus. I was always like selling dinners or doing things like that. And then it wasn't until the end of my college years that I realized that cooking was actually my passion. So I completed engineering, but once I got out of school, worked a little bit, and moved to Houston, I felt like it was time for me to like pursue my passion. So that's what made me start Essential Eats. Right now, I do private catering. I host events. Basically anything with cooking involved. I've been kind of just getting my feet wet and just exploring for the Houston market. So for me, that has to be either going to church or listening to gospel music. So when I'm feeling like down or just unmotivated or just not focused, whether if it's Essential Eats or it's work or even personal relationships, like that's just always my core. But for me, I feel like my biggest hurdle sometimes is myself. And the reason why I say that is because luckily enough, I have a regular job that's pretty consistent and I'm able to provide and live off of to a comfortable standards that sometimes I let myself get too comfortable and I'm not focused on Essential Eats. Meaning that I'm not giving it the time or the focus or the sacrifices that I need to. Favorite line, honestly, that really like touches my core when I rap it is my mama needs some bill money, my son needs some. So I don't have a kids, I don't have no son, but like for me, a lot of the decisions I made and kind of me pursuing engineering and things like that was only because I knew like, hey, I would make some good money and I could like get back to my mom. So like when I hear that, like verses like that, it just reminds me like who I'm doing it for. It just motivates me. Well, a lot of people talk about being an entrepreneur or starting a business, and it's so easy to like talk about it, but actually putting in the work to create it and having something that's consistent and recognized and stable, to me, that it may seem small to a lot of people, but I'm proud of myself for that because so I highly recommend, if you can avoid my mistakes, find a mentor early on and just pick their brain. Just find someone that's kind of aligned to what you want to do and just pick their brain and get that going before you just try to put the pieces together yourself. So 3 steps that I took was I created a kind of, I can't really say it's a roadmap, but like what I wanted out of Essential Eats. And kind of give it like a timeline, like, hey, I wanted to basically start catering, and then I wanted to do private dinners, and then I want to do a cookbook. So I kind of laid out the whole long-term vision for my company. So I gathered all that together first. Second, I probably just started to allocate some funds like what do I really need to get money-wise to get started, whether it was creating a website, how much that costs, or just giving the basic equipment that I needed to even to be able to say I could cater for someone's event, you know? And I started from the basics. Like I had wire, you know, like cooking racks, things like that. Now I finally upgraded to the professional one. So literally just starting from the basis. And then probably the third thing is just like finding a support system. Like I told my family and friends I wanted to do it. I found, like I said, I just moved to Houston. I didn't know anyone, so just working on the core I had there, I was like, hey, this is something I'm starting. Let anyone you know that I have a business. So that's probably like the 3 steps. Like I made a plan. I got really the clear idea of what I wanted for the business. I put some money together, got the basic equipment I need, and then the third thing was just basically finding the support and just putting myself out there. So that's probably like the top 3 things I like to highlight that I use to get started.
I want to challenge you to mentor somebody, so I want to check back with you in 3 months, and I want to know somebody. I want you to show me somebody you're mentoring. If it's just personal, if it's entrepreneur, or whatever the case may be, like what big sister, whatever, or cooking or whatever. I want to challenge you to mentor somebody.
Matter of time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it with a clear eye view. Got shorty, she tryna bless me.